nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop.
Hey, guys. I hope everybody is having a great day. If you guys have not, make sure you go ahead and like the video as you come in. Thank you for that. Okay, and if you have not, make sure you go ahead and put your notifications on so you don't miss out on a video, and definitely don't miss out on my updates with regarding simonguobadia and Porsha Williams. Well, let me give y'all a little update, y'all. We've been talking about, Simon, he is in ICE custody. And for those who don't remember or y'all forgot, let me kind of break it down. Simon has been in ICE custody, I want to say since February. Let me just make sure, because it seems like it's been forever, but he's been in ICE custody, yeah, since February. Since February, okay? So that is correct. So he's been there since February. Now, we're getting ready to be in the month of June. So that's a long time. And I know everybody is wondering, is Simon getting out? Well, I can tell you this, and we kind of talked about this before. Simon will be able to come to his court hearing, which is a good thing, because if y'all really think about it, if he was going to be deported, I don't see why they would even be bringing him to the court hearing or wasting more taxpayers' money to even fool around with this foolery if in fact he was going to be deported. So you guys know, obviously he has an attorney. Attorneys have to be paid. They don't give a damn about you or anything you got going on, especially in Atlanta, if you ain't paying them. So we know the attorney is getting paid. The attorney is still representing him in his case. He, has his immigration attorney. So I would say that's a win for Simon, because he is still handling his business. Okay. But what y'all need to understand is that Porsha is very much so panicking because Simon, the word on the street is that Simon is going to be getting out relatively soon. And Porsha understands that that means that the fight is definitely back on. So, you see her working, you're seeing her trying to do some things that she probably should have did a year ago, but good for her. So Simon is, the streets is saying that he's going to be released relatively soon. They're working out everything. Y'all know how it went with, people that they say were in the country illegally were just picked up. If you knew somebody that you didn't like, you can get their ass picked up too. But this is pretty much what happened. Simon got picked up. Everything is allegedly being worked out. But they say Porsha is panicking because she know that it is on and cracking, because y'all know just how petty Simon is. And, I think we all kind of know that. And he gonna give you tit for tat. And Porsha is really, really panicking at this point. As, we have learned in previous videos, it is being stated that Simon is not paying anything. He's not paying the mortgage, and pretty much feels like if the judge is going to allow this woman to stay in my property, then pay for it. Pay the damn mortgage then, because he's not going to pay it. As stated in the court documents, it stated that the obligations were not being met, and therefore Porsha needed to work. And simply her attorney was saying, listen, Allow Porsha to miss this court date because she needs to work and she has an opportunity in another country. And Judge, we need you to let her go to this other opportunity and let her appear by video camera because the mortgage ain't being paid and she needs to get the money. And you know what? I don't believe if Porsha could get the money, I don't believe she's going to pay it anyway because the house is simply not in her name. So the latest and the greatest is that Simon is allegedly going to be released relatively soon. Things are working out to his advantage, with regards to getting him out of this jail. Because, I mean, as y'all know, when they lock you up in ICE, it is considered a jail, which is simply the reason why he can't go to court. But it seems like the judge has, requested that he be produced, which simply means they're going to bring him to court. And I don't believe, Porsha thought that that would actually happen either. I really think that she thought this entire situation was going to play in her favor, but it doesn't seem like, it's working out that way. And in all honesty, I feel like the entire situation seems to be fair. I mean, to just say, hey, he's in jail, he's been picked up by ICE, and Porsha's attorney was simply like, yeah, he did get picked up, but it's because of what he did, Judge. So it's his problem that he got himself in trouble. So because he got himself in trouble, we want to move forward. But I mean, judges have to be fair. You have to give a person the opportunity, even if it is a result of their actions. Shit happens, okay? So that is exactly what the judge has done. The judge has been fair in this situation, and it seems like the judge is being pretty fair to both parties. So Porsha is panicking because, baby, she know that Simon can play all day, and when he want to play, it cost her to play because now she has to pay or find money to pay her attorney, which I don't believe she's actually paid the attorney, by the way, because I believe she may be banking on there being an order for Simon to pay, which I don't think is going to happen because, in fact, she was the one that filed for the divorce. So I'm not sure, why Simon would need to pay her attorney's fees. Okay, so she's panicking. The word on the street is that Simon is going to be out relatively soon here. And Porsha is trying to figure it out because, baby, I mean, the mortgage can't be too many more months behind because what's going to happen is they're going to start the foreclosure process. And we kind of talked about that, in an earlier video with regards to Porsha and Simon. Now, we do know that they have a court hearing coming up, not next week, but the next week, which Simon will be there for. So he will be there. The ICE officials is definitely going to bring him to court. His attorney will show up, and then they will move accordingly. But that is supposed to be the final hearing. Now, will it be the final hearing? What is going to be the order of the court? Is the judge going to say, Porsha, you can stay in the house? And also, just so y'all understand, the prenup did give Porsha some time in the house. However, it's not like, hey, you get to stay here for 5 years. I think it was like 24 months or something. So essentially, that time is wrapping up relatively soon. So even if the judge said, okay, we're going to let, the prenup, move along, she would still have to move. So it's not like she could have the house. That's what I'm saying. I didn't understand what the big fuss was because even though, I think it says 24 months, that's not forever. That's what, like 2 years. And I don't recall if it's 2 years or 18 months. I don't recall, but I know it's not 3, 4. It's nothing like that. It's a very small amount of time. But again, if you guys think about it, I believe she filed for the divorce in February of 2024. Honey, we are getting ready to be in June of 2025. So you see how those months are going to be over soon. So you got Christmas and then New Year's, and baby, you got to go anyway. So that time is going to go really, really fast. And the judge may say, hey, you've already been there. I'm going to let you stay. But the simple fact is, she will still have to move in a very short amount of time. But here is where we are. I believe, and what I've been told is, Porsha is also panicking because Simon has a lot of information on her with regards to, her secret affairs and men that she was talking to. And he has all of this information. And that is primarily some of the reason why he want her to just move on, because he's like, girl, listen, it's not like we were in a marriage and, something happened and we decided that it wasn't going to work. You were cheating. Okay. So not only were you cheating with one, two, you were cheating with multiple men, not one, two, three, four, a whole slew of men, So he allegedly has this evidence. Not only were you cheating and screwing other men, he said you really had money. You had your own money. And in fact, what Simon is, what he alleged is, yes, the prenup was something that we signed because I felt like if I'm going to be married to somebody and they're not going to work, if we decide to get a divorce, I want to be able to help you. But the problem here is, he says that Porsha actually had income and was able to get herself on money. So therefore, what are we doing the prenup for? Because what we agreed on is that you wouldn't work, but baby, you working. So it's like, what am I giving you anything for now? Because you working. The agreement was, you don't work. If we get, in a divorce, I'll give you XYZ amount of money. But he's like, why do I need to get this girl anything? She's working. She has this going on. She has that going on, which I can understand. What Simon is saying, when we did the prenup, it was under these specific terms, which does not exist at this very moment, which makes sense. He like, look, we getting married. You're not going to work. You won't have a job, yada, yada. Your job is to, whatever you do at home. But he's like, look, girl, you're working. You're back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. You're doing other things. So therefore, what he's saying is, how much is your income and what you making? Because what am I giving you anything for when we agreed that you wouldn't work? Which I kind of understand it, but I can also understand Porsha, because I feel like this situation with Porsha and Simon has more so to do with the marriage that she had with Cordell, that she left with nothing, because Porsha wants to feel vindicated and she wants to feel like she actually got something. Because if you guys even listen to her in the episode, she said, look, I didn't take care of business in my first marriage, but I took care of business in this marriage. So I feel like Porsha wants to feel like she didn't get played. But the only problem is, Porsha, I don't even feel like your marriage counted. Like, girl, you wasn't even married. Baby girl, you wasn't even married for 5 years. So how do you marry somebody and not even married to them for a couple of, was you married? I think you spent more time going through a divorce than you actually was married. So, I mean, I just feel like this is really a ploy, because she feel like she got played in that last marriage, and I feel like she wants to feel like she's getting something. But I would say this: maybe she should have stayed married just for a little while longer, because, ma'am, you didn't stay married at all. So we'll see how this is going to turn out for Porsha with regards to this entire situation, because I feel like she is definitely, banking on trying to get some money out of this whole situation. It is actually funny, because it's like, if you were in a relationship with somebody for just a short period of time, and the only thing you can be concerned about is, what can I get out of this? Which is a simple, you can kind of understand that. Girl, do you got any money of your own? Because when you left Cordell, he put you out. delivered your clothes and you started over living with your mom, and then eventually you bought a house. So the situation with you and your husband that you're currently married to, you guys were not even together for a long time at all, not even 5 years. I don't even think you were together for 2 years. But you want, what do you want out of this? So it just seems like, I don't know. We'll see how this is going to pan out. I mean, the judge may say, listen, stay in there for, you got about what, 6 7 more months you can stay in there. The judge may say, no, we're not going to divide anything, because if you guys recall, the money that Simon put down on that property that Porsha and her daughter is living in, which is the property that his children can't be in, he used money from the sale of another property. So we got to watch it, and see, look at the case and see how it all pans out. I mean, what if the judge say, hey, he has to sell the property and split it with her? That would be really messed up, but we'll see, and I'll keep y'all updated.